What's going on, guys? It's Jay from Dirty Boy Tools, and I wanted to show you guys my extra small Knipex pouch. All small tools in here. This is something that I made for work because I just wanted something even smaller than what I normally carry. We've been getting a lot of good help lately, so I haven't had to carry around my larger tools, but I still want to keep some tools on me to help me mostly with troubleshooting, with small adjustments, small sensors. And I've been trying to double this as an EDC for outside of work and everyday life. That way I can, serve all my needs. And it's been working out really well. I've found some really interesting items. Most of them, almost all of them, are under 4 inches except for one of them. And definitely want to share that with you guys today to show that you can carry a lot of things on you, even though you have such a tiny little pouch. So, despite the fact this pouch can fit in the palm of my hand, I can still use these tools in combination with each other, or even individually to do big jobs. And, not that big, but big enough that you wouldn't think I'd have the tools in this pouch to be able to handle, if that makes sense. But enough of me talking about it. Let me get started and explain to you what I have in here and why I have it. So the first tool I have is this pair of scissors. It's by a company called Knipex, and I believe it is a sewing company. This is intended to be a pair of sewing scissors, but I bought these because they are substantial. They are about 3.5 millimeters thick. They're definitely they're definitely stronger than your average pair of sewing scissors, and they're way stronger than your average pair of EDC scissors. A lot of EDC scissors, the small ones that you don't have to unfold, they're very weak. They can cut through paper, they can cut through thread, and that's about it. That's where they end. And then the larger scissors, the ones that you have to unfold, they are stronger, but you have to unfold them. This comes right out, and take it out, cut whatever you need to cut, put it right back in. It's actually very convenient. It's one of the tools that I can deploy with just one hand. A lot of the other tools in my pouch I have to use 2 hands because it is stuffed. However, it's not that inconvenient, and I think I've gotten pretty used to it. It didn't take much time. So the next tool I have on me is kind of new to me. It might be new to a lot of you as well. It's a scalpel blade knife. It's by this company I can't pronounce, Olitans, I think. In that box is the individual blades. So basically you can take out the blades and put in new ones. I removed the pocket clip, as you can see, so I can't clip it to my pocket if I want to. I did that to conserve a little bit of space. As you can see, there's a little bar in that blade. That's what everything hooks onto, and basically you just lift at the bottom and pull it out. As you can tell by how tricky it is, I'm not used to doing that just yet. It is difficult for me. However, I can assure you that putting in a blade is not so bad. You slide it in, and then you wait till the bottom part clicks, and it stays flush with the bottom, and now it's a functioning knife. That's where I removed the pocket clip from, so I could use this in my kit. And this next item is pretty new to me. It is a pair of plastic calipers, and I'm testing it out in this kit. I'm not so sure it'll work. It's got painted on numbers. My old set of calipers had the numbers etched in, and it was made out of brass. But that set of calipers didn't give me the amount of tools that this one does. This one I can measure inside, I can measure outside. I have a little depth stick thing. I don't know what it's called. I don't really know the terms. But I have a little bit more measuring capability with this set of calipers. Yeah, that's the depth gauge thing over there. I don't expect to be as precise as a good set of dial calipers. That is not the intention of this tool. The intention of this tool is to give me, basic ideas of how big a screw is. It's not going to do the job of this pair of dial calipers here. It's absolutely not. But it'll give me an idea of how big a bolt is, maybe thread pitch, maybe different sizes, maybe compare and contrast different things with this. So it has come in handy so far. At least the brass ones have, but let's see if the plastic one can make it as well. So the next piece I have in here is a titanium pry bar slash scraper tool. I've had other pry bars before, but I like this one because it's got a wide edge, and I use it to scrape off gunk, scrape off when dust mixes with grease and oil. It turns into glue. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So you need to sometimes get rid of that, especially if somebody puts too much oil on something. So this helps me with that, and of course it helps me with prying as well. I don't have as much leverage because this whole bar is a flat piece, but it is sufficient for my needs. The next piece is my Omen bit holder. It's an Omen bit kit, basically 21 bits held as compactly as possible. I don't know any other bit kit that's tighter than this. There are other variations that can fit my bits pretty well, but they won't fit into this pouch. I love this thing. I can keep all my work bits in there and all my bits for outside of work. Pretty much everything on the left, all the standard Allen keys, is a work bit. Everything else is a out of work bit, and the kit is flexible, so it's very pliable. It can stuff into any pouch really well, and you can move things around without breaking it. So that's really what I love about it. You can see there my 1/4 inch and my 3/16 Allen bits are my most used ones, and everything to the right is what I'd use outside of work, maybe for furniture repair, maybe for repairing a cabinet or a doorknob, I don't know, something like that. But you can hold a lot of bits on here, and you could fit all your needs with just that kit. So my precision screwdrivers, I have 3 of them now instead of having one multi-driver that I switch out bits with. This is working out a lot better for me. I can just pull out the drivers and get to work without changing and fiddling around bits with these things. I end up using these things a lot, especially for sensors. I used to use this PB Swiss driver, but it's a little bulky, so having just the 3 bits that I need are they are working way better for me, and they're much more compact. So this piece is my most used tool in this entire kit. Like I said, the primary purpose of this is troubleshooting, and this helps me poke valves, poke switches, poke reset buttons, just poke things. Sometimes the best way to fix something is to poke at it and see what's wrong, and this will do just that. It's basically a file with a couple layers of shrink tube wrapping on it. I don't actually use the file portion. I don't think I ever have, but it's there. Mostly just use the needle portion. And after that is a machinist scale that I use, and I cut the scale down. I'm well aware that if you cut a scale down, you're gonna throw it out of calibration. Again, the intention of this is to compare and contrast and to get an idea of measurement and to help me figure things out. I don't need exact measurements with this kit. I don't need to be super precise. I just need a decent idea, and the scale paired with this caliper gives me that idea. Honestly, with the plastic calipers, if they work out well, I probably won't even need this scale, but if I switch back to the brass ones, then I definitely will. So these next pieces right here are pieces that you can use in combination with each other. If you do combination tools in kits, you have a lot of capability. The only problem is you have to take some time to assemble it, to assemble whatever you want to work with. So basically I have a hex to 1/4 inch square socket, and a hex to 1/4 inch square male to male, and a bit adapter, and a ratchet by Sabercut. The Sabercut ratchet is supposedly rated for over 50 Newton meters of force. I don't know how I'm going to produce that amount of force to test it out. I don't think I can, but I like the sound of that because I often test my ratchets out and push them to their max. And with this extension, I can reach into hard to reach places, and I can get more torque because leverage is your friend, right? Obviously doing this will wear out on the different tools and different bits, but hey, that's okay. I have more Swan Lake bits, and we can always get more of the sockets. I keep the flathead on there because the flathead is a common bit I use to get into control cabinets when I need to get into them. Previously, I used to keep this tool on me to get into control cabinets, which it does work. It works very well, but I realized I don't need to get into them too often, and it's very bulky in the kit, so I do keep that in my pocket just in case. This next set is something a lot of people in the EDC community are familiar with. This is the Knipex Cobra pliers. They're very good. They came with the pouch. It speaks for themselves. The one thing I was afraid of, you might be afraid of this too, is 100 millimeters, so it's 4 inches. I didn't think I'd be able to use this properly or grip it properly. I was dead wrong about that. Obviously, if you have a large bolt that is really torqued down, this is not going to do anything, but I mostly use these for sensor bolts, things like that. And of course, I have my set of wire cutters on me. It's 3.5-inch pair. It used to look like this pair right here. Oh wait, I didn't show it yet, hold on. Right here, the red pair, and basically I took off the handle using a vise and vice grips, and of course the spring comes off if you take off the handle, so it doesn't have that spring action in it. That's okay, I don't use these too often, but they come in handy. They can nip wire ties pretty well. Anything beyond that, I wouldn't trust it. You're not going to get a lot of torque on something like this. And speaking of low torque, here is my 4-inch crescent wrench. There are a lot of 4-inch options. I could always go with the 4-inch Knipex pliers wrench, which actually opens even wider than this, but it's too bulky. I had to go with this. This can go up to about a 9/16 bolt, which is what I need it for sometimes. I have a Baco 4-inch wrench as well, and that can only go to a 1/2 inch. Even though I think Baco's wrenches are higher quality than Crescent, they grip bolts better, I have to go with the one that's going to grab a little bit larger of a bolt, especially since I do see 9/16 bolts semi-often. So I have a standard mini Sharpie. I was trying to look for a mini paint marker or mini Milwaukee markers, couldn't find any, but Sharpie will do. I just need to mark some things down and get organized with that, so that helps me. And this is my newest flashlight. It is an Olight flashlight. It's not a lot of lumens on it. It's about 50 lumens. I don't need that much right now. 50 lumens is enough to point out what I need to point out, and it fits into the pouch. That's the most important thing. So now I don't have to carry a flashlight in my pocket. And you know, I have a knife in this kit. I don't have to carry a knife in my pocket. Now my pockets are free for my phone and wallet to just hang out and have a good time in there. As you can see, it's not the brightest flashlight, but it is definitely functional and it'll get the job done. And if not, I'll switch out to something else. There you have the tools that I currently use in my pouch. Now I want to go over with you guys the tools that I have thought about using or I've used in the past, and why I don't really use them now. So if you haven't done so already, please remember to like and subscribe. It'll help me support the channel, and it'll give me motivation to keep making videos with tools and EDC gear. So these wrenches would be obvious choices to put in this pouch, but there's a downside to both. For the Knipex pliers wrench, while it does open up wider than any 4-inch wrench you can think of, it is bulky, and I don't need bulk in that kit, otherwise I won't be able to close it. The Baco wrench, once again, high quality wrench, superior grips on bolts. It does not go past a 1/2 inch, and like I said before, that 9/16 is key for me sometimes. So the Crescent goes up to that, and that's why I use the Crescent. The Crescent is also a little bit thinner on the shaft, so I guess it fits better, but I think the head's a little bigger. So these were precision driver options that I considered. I carried the PB Swiss on the left in the kit once before. It's got a lot of great bit options. I even cut it short so I can fit properly into the kit. I was really committed to using it, but I'm finding that the precision drivers I use now work out better for my situation, and I can actually stuff and pack the kit better. This precision driver right here, as you can see, it carries a lot of bits on it, but it does have its downside to it. So the cap would be the first thing I grip when I pull it out, but that cap is very loose on there, so I realized it just frustrated me. I'd be pulling the cap and all that would come out would be that, and that would be annoying. And it is actually kind of bulky though. This one is actually a micro driver. It's a 4mm bit holder, and I have some 4mm bits. I had this all planned out. I was going to use this Weehaw holder. Really good to use, really convenient. Just doesn't work in this kit though. Will probably work in other kits. So these are the Wera 1/4-inch driver and the Off-Grid Knives Bullet. These are both drivers I considered because they're less than 4 inches in height, and they're nice and thick, so you can get a lot of torque on them, which is nice and convenient. And I've seen a lot of people use this Wera driver with the Knipex kit. They look good together, right? German tools, they go well together. But if I put that weird driver in there, I can't fit anything else on the side straps. And if I put that bullet driver in there, I definitely can't fit anything on the side straps. Although I can hold 3 bits in it, which does make it pretty convenient. These are my brass calipers. I have been using these. They work really well, but they're limited compared to the other calipers. I can only measure the outside distance or diameter or length, whatever it may be. I don't have the capability really to measure the inside with this, and I don't have capability to measure the depth with this. But the numbers are etched in there, so I feel like this would be better in a toolkit. I feel like those numbers are just not going to rub off. I will definitely see what happens though in the future. So this is a pair of scissors that looks cool and folds and is compact, but it can cut through a piece of paper if it's thin. If it's thick, yeah, maybe it'll cut through a thick piece of paper and some thread. But plastic, it's having trouble with, and I need my scissors to be functional. I don't need them to just look cool. So this pair of scissors I didn't end up using in my kit. Which is why I have that oversized pair of sewing scissors in there. So this is a Titan 1/4 inch driver and an Annex low profile driver and a 711 ratchet. All really cool tools. The Annex driver comes with these stubby bits, and they're the perfect bits for a lot of people. They have all the hex and metric. They have Phillips flat. They would work out for a lot of people. And it's got a nice magnet on the back, but that Annex driver is a bit limited in capability to what I needed, so I went with the saber cut ratchet. Now this Titan driver, I might just replace the saber cut driver with this Titan driver in the future. I think some of you guys on YouTube told me about it. It's a nice driver. It's 4 inches, got a nice small profile swivel head and a good strong magnet, but you know, I wanted the saber cut for a while to see what I can do. And this 711L ratchet, it's very small, very compact, but I don't know how much it can handle. I anticipate it can handle a decent amount, but I don't want to find that out the hard way just yet. I'll keep this in another kit for now. This tool might be new to a lot of people. This is by Grip-On. It's advertised as a pair of locking pliers. It's basically a pair of clamps. That's what it is. It's a locking clamp. You can adjust that screw on top and adjust the height of that and lock it into place, similar to pliers, but it's too bulky and it doesn't work in my kit. And this is the Knipex control key. I keep it in my pocket. It's just too bulky for the kit. I don't use it too often, but it does come in handy on some calls. A pair of wire cutters. This would give me a lot more leverage and be more comfortable, and it's 4 inches, but it was still a little bit too tall for the kit, so I ultimately decided to go with my current pair of cutters. And my Olight flashlight, which is just too small for the kit. You think, oh, a small flashlight, small kit? No, you need to have the sizes match up really well. If you have a 4-inch size kit, you need 4-inch tools or 3.5-inch tools. And the last tool that I had in my kit was this driver by K20 Tools. Real cool driver. I used the Vessel bit for it, but the problem is the magnet comes out the top, and that magnet just kept catching on to everything, so I had to change this out for something else. So there you guys have it. That's all the tools I keep in my kit, plus the tools that I either kept in there or have considered to keep in there. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that. The tools you see in there today may not be the tools that I have in there tomorrow. I change them out constantly, but you know, there's always new tools to be used, so I look forward to seeing what this kit will look like in the near future.